Righto, so it's on to me then, Denny. Rightio. Welcome once again. I hope we're doing okay in isolation. With all the barbershops shut, I just wonder if anyone's getting a little too woolly these days. By the way, Denny, could you turn my voice off in this? Can you do that?
Yes, I can. Yeah, just no, you need to turn the sound off.
Sound off and see how that goes. Sorry, folks, just doing it.
Actually, I'll go on mute and you won't get that feedback.
Yeah, that's much better. Sorry about that, folks. Just a technical thing, so we're all communicating properly. You probably okay. That's right. We were just checking that your hair's okay because the barber shops are shut, and I hope they're good. Us guys, we tend to notice the gyms being shut. We don't want to get too much of a profile, do we, Ben? So try and keep the exercise up where you can, and maybe no isolation beards from some of you boys, okay? Just keep yourself clean shaven while we're in isolation. Anyhow, I digress. Okay, like all lessons, we're going to do a quick bit of revision about what we did last week, and then I'm going to quickly cover the self-paced learning. So how many people put their hand up when you said who's done the e-learning and the self-paced? Did we have a good response? Great. Okay, so we're going to cover that. Right. So last week we had the introduction to surf clubs. Just to tell you a little bit about the organisation itself, it's the biggest community-based organisation in Australia. Now, you may not quite get what that means, but for people that spend their own time in a club, there are other organisations, the Bushfire Brigade, Rotary, that's for older people typically. All these things, people spend their spare time doing it. And surf clubs are the biggest organisation in Australia that have that sort of arrangement. So it's not too bad. It's you're part of a big movement of people, and typically you make a lot of friends either in your club or at other clubs. And I'm just saying we've got connections all around Australia. I mentioned that clubs started in around 1907 last lesson. So if we look back at the history of clubs, I was a little bit sort of out because I realised then that on my Bondi key ring, it tells me that Bondi started in 1906, but I know where I got 1907 from. There is a club in our area that started in 1907. So can I just clarify, when I say in our area, we talk about Bait Bay, and you've probably heard the expression before, we're in the Bait Bay area. And there are 4 clubs. So if you work along the beach, if you just went from a walk all the way from Green Hills down to Cronulla Point, you will have passed 4 surf clubs. There's a little activity here. I've already given away one of the answers. Have a look at the screen, and I'm going to throw it over to maybe Denny, if you're communicating with the folk there. Let's see who can give an answer. You've got to join up a club with the year it was formed, okay? So over to you, Denny, and folks, get some answers. 4 answers there, Denny.
Okay, so I'm going to start in the top corner of my grid. So I'm going to go to Dane Sutton. Dane Sutton, when was Cronulla started? Come off mute, mate, and let me know the answer. I've just realised I was talking to mute. Dane. Can you tell me when Cronulla was started?
1907.
1907. Hopefully somebody's not in the background feeding you answers.
Talk about phone a friend.
Okay, so next I'm going to go to Otis Jessup. Otis, when was Wanda started?
1967.
Ooh, swing and a miss. I'm gonna go to Zara Buckley. Zara Buckley, when was Wanda started?
1946.
Excellent, good work, Zara. Then we're going to go to Imogen. Imogen, when was Allura started?
1925.
Oh. Okay, let's go to Miller. Miller, when was Allura started? No, you're on mute, Miller.
1967.
Excellent, good work, Miller. Okay, and the last one, please, Ellie Maguire, please get this right. When was North Cronulla started? Sorry?
1946.
No. Okay, off to Leah. When was North Cronulla started?
1925.
Excellent. Good work, everyone. Well, most of you.
Right, thank you, Denny. Okay, so that was when they started. Cronulla in 1907 was the first club, and it was a similar situation to Bondi. Things were happening in Sydney in terms of our lifestyle, where there were men, usually men that lived near the beach, that would go to the beach a lot. And what they found is that they understood where the rips were, and they understood what was safe and where was safe to swim. But the others that came, say it was a hot day and people just crowded down to the beach, they didn't know how to read the surf and they didn't know where to swim. But the local men did. And it happened in Bondi because that's near the city and so many people will flock to the beach on a hot day. The local men decided, we've got to do something about this. And much to their credit, they started off the movement of surf life saving, as we call it these days, a movement. And it was just the local people that were interested in protecting the people that came for a swim. So Bondi did it first, and sure enough, Cronulla had, because it was in a similar situation, they were next. Now, if you come up the beach, which come up north from Cronulla, sometimes people call it South Cronulla. It's the one where the pavilion is near Cronulla, the rocks and the park there, the big park. What's the name of the park there, Ben? The big amphitheatre, don't know? I've got you. Yeah, anyhow, we don't know. There's a really good fish and chip shop there, by the way. So that's Cronulla or South Cronulla Surf Club. But if you come north, then we get, of course, North Cronulla, which formed in 1925. Now, there's an interesting reason why I mention this. You probably know what happened in 1939. Yeah, World War II started. And so a lot of the people, or some of the men, because, and I keep saying men because at this time there were only men in surf clubs. It's only in the 70s, 1970s and 80s that they let women join. Anyhow, but that's secret men's business, okay? In 1939, some of the men from North Cronulla went to war. And when they came back at the end of the war in 1946, they found that the club was being run in such a way by the younger people that they didn't quite see eye to eye with how it was being run. And they said, forget it, we're going to start another club further north. And so that's why in 1946, Wanda started. It was a bunch of returned soldiers and servicemen. And that's why our club colours are the colours of the three services in the Defence Force. So light blue for the Air Force, dark blue for the Navy, and red for the Army. So that's how Wanda gets its colours. We were started by a bunch of returned servicemen in 1946 who used to be at North Cronulla, but they came up here. And so if you do go to North Cronulla Surf Club, you'll see some pictures of some of our founders there. That was before they went away. Anyhow. And then Allura, which organisation started Allura Surf Club? Here's a tricky question. I don't think anyone will get this. Righto. Do you want a clue? Let me know.
So Eliza Douglas, you're the next person on the grid. So Wanda was started by ex-military. What was the Allura Surf Club started by?
I have no idea.
Do you want a clue?
Does anybody in the grid know how Allura started? Put your hand up and then come off mute. Okay, Gerard.
The clue is PCBC. PCBC, there is one of their buildings just near Sutton Pool.
I think the modern equivalent is known as the PCYC.
Oh, righto. PCYC. Anyone know what that's?
Anybody know this one? Police Citizens Youth Club is the answer there.
Right. No one got it. Okay, so back in the day when the Police Citizens Boys Club, they started Allura Surf Club in 1967. And that's how Allura got there, filled in the gap.
So while we're talking about history of surf, it's probably important to note that women have been involved in the surf club for quite a long time. Originally, as they were referred to as the Ladies Auxiliary, and they were the fundraising machine that drove surf lifesaving. And recently we celebrated what anniversary of women being able to patrol? Is there anybody on the call who can tell me that? Okay, let's go with Kyle. Come off mute, Kyle, and tell me.
40 years.
Excellent. That's correct. So women have been able to do their bronze medallion and patrol on the beach for 40 years this season. And Wanda actually has some of the first women who joined the surf club movement as patrolling members, which is really important.
And we also have the first woman to win an Iron Woman title, being Anita Price. There you go, a little bit of history. Okay, signals. So we're going to just brush up on some signals real quick. I'm just going to pluck them out of my head as to the signals. And Denny, you can probably see me, so you can pick some people. Will that work? Righto, here's the first one. Denny, you can see that. Can you pick someone to give you an answer?
Okay, let's go with Isla.
I forgot. I'm not really sure.
No, you're right. I couldn't hear you, Isla. Try again.
She forgot.
I'm not
No.
really sure.
No, I can't. Oh, hang on. I know what it is. Yeah, sorry. Try again, Isla. One more time.
I'm not really sure. I forgot.
Joey Doran.
I don't know either.
Attract. Say it.
Attention.
Hey! Righto, well done. Okay, the next one is this. What is the patrol captain telling the person in the water to do? Go to which direction?
Zoe Cole.
Just come off mute.
Go to the left.
Go to left. Excellent.
And the next person, what is the patrol captain telling the person in the water to do with this signal?
Hayden Goffert.
Go right.
Okay, excellent. Okay, just before we go any further, a quick tip for you guys is to come off mute temporarily. You can push the space bar in. So hold the space bar down and you'll come off mute. And as soon as you release the space bar, you'll go back onto mute rather than having to click around for it.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, now this is another direction that the patrol captain may tell you to go. 2 hands up from the shore while you're out in the water.
Okay, Aurora, you're up.
Go out.
Yeah.
Very good. And 1 hand.
Sophie. Sophie, can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to pass Sophie. Alice, what's this signal?
Return to shore.
Excellent, good work.
Okay, or coming towards the shore, and then when I don't know where to send you, I put 2 arms out, and what does this mean? Another one?
Adelaide.
To remain stationary.
Excellent.
Well said. Okay, so we've done the 4 directions and remain stationary, so I can put you where I want you in the surf with those directions, can't I? But sometimes I might need to give you a bit more information. So here's a direction and an arm movement. Another one there, Denny.
Zoe.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so you've got a direction, you've got an action.
All swimmers to the left.
Very
Close.
close. So it's not all swimmers, but pick.
Finish it off, Zoe.
Pick up swimmers to the left.
Excellent, good work.
Very good. Well done. And the other direction, next one there, Denny.
William. William, what signal are we going with here, mate? I don't think William can hear me at the moment. Can you hear me, William? Put your hand up. No?
Let's
Okay,
go to
good.
get him, I think.
He's got a thumbs up. I think he might have a microphone issue. That's okay. Okay, Dane, what's this one?
Pick up swimmers to the right.
Excellent. Well done. Okay. One of the most basic ones.
What's this?
Back to you, Otis.
No?
On mute, mate. Otis, you need to come off mute to answer.
Is it like trying to attract attention? Like if you're stuck, then you're
Oh, no, hang on. It's the one after attract attention.
like send help or something?
You're getting warm, mate.
But we tend to summarise it in 2 words: assistance.
Assistance required.
Hey, got it. Good on you, mate. So assistance required, which is like send help. It means, yeah, I want some backup here, okay? So that's assistance required. 1 or 2 of the more obscure ones, we had this one where you just snap your arm down.
So anyone?
Sarah Buckley.
Message.
Message.
Message clear. Or
Message
message understood.
Message understood.
Well
How
done,
did that? Thanks, Miller.
Okay, and what about the butterfly one? Pick. Oh, I've just given you the first word.
Imogen.
Pick up.
Pick up boys.
We don't want to know your secrets. Just rightio, being said. There they are. There. Pick up or adjust boys. So pick up or adjust boys. Return to shore. I think we've got them all. There's another series that you do from the water, and perhaps we'll get them another time. Okay. Rightio.
We can't hear Gerard.
Righto. So if you muted me there, because I haven't changed anything on this. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Righto. Good. Okay. So between now and last lesson, you hopefully have done the self-paced learning, and we're going to go through these things tonight and then get down to a little preamble for the next session. Righto, Denny, next one. Oh, actually, can you go back to my first? No, keep going. The one that I made up. There. Okay, so just a quick revision of what we did last week. Work health and safety is like some of you may have a job. That'll be interesting. The surf club is a bit like you're going to work. Now, remember I said, well, people come here in their spare time. But what I'm saying is there are rules and regulations about how we've got to behave in the club and how we've got to act, because the public are now starting to watch us. As soon as you put that uniform on, which I hope we'll be doing in a couple of months before too long, the public will be noticing your actions and what you do. So there's certain expectations about how you behave when you've got the uniform on. And that's important. We now say you are maintaining the image of lifesavers. And that person from the public that doesn't know that you're, what's some of their names? It doesn't know if you're Aurora or it doesn't know if you're William. It just sees a surf lifesaver and it thinks the same of all surf lifesavers, depending on merely on the fact that they have a uniform on. So that's why I have some regulations about how you behave at a surf club. Now, you are here to protect the public. And that's why this clubhouse is here. That's why we're doing all of this, because our fundamental job is to protect the public when they go for a swim. Just like I said in the history of surf clubs, the local men found that people didn't understand the surf, and so they began this volunteer service to help keep people safe. And that's how clubs started. So we're here to protect the public, but the surf club is here to protect you as you do this. So you don't have to feel like you're just doing it like those men did in the early stages with no one to back them up. This whole surf club is here to provide you with what you need to do this. So it's like a relationship between the club and you and the public. So when you finally get on patrol, what are some examples of good behaviour? Maybe Denny, you can ask them some examples of good behaviour while you're on patrol.
Okay, let's quickly go through everybody. Dane, what would be a good thing to do on patrol?
Respect. Having
Okay, show respect. Otis, what would be another thing that you should be doing on a patrol?
Listening to the patrol captain.
Excellent. Okay, Zara, what's something that you think's important on patrol?
Paying attention to the water.
Paying attention to the water. Excellent. Imogen, what's something that you think's important on patrol?
Just like keeping an eye out for like things like
Being observant, that's very important. Miller, how about you? What do you think?
Protect yourself.
Wearing your uniform.
Wearing a uniform, very good, very good. These are the easy ones. As we get down the bottom, it's going to get harder and harder. Ellie, what's something that you'd find important on patrol?
not mucking around too much.
Not mucking around too much.
Too much.
So it's important to have fun on patrol and enjoy your patrol, but mucking around too much can go a bit far. Leah, what do you think is important on patrol?
To stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Excellent answer. Eliza, what's important on patrol?
Being nice to everyone.
Being nice and courteous to everybody. That's very important because you're the public face of surf lifesaving. Kyle, what's important on patrol, mate?
Keeping yourself safe.
Keeping yourself safe. That is a top answer. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Isla, what's important to do on patrol?
Being on time.
Being on time, being punctual. Very good. Joey Doran, what's important on patrol, mate?
Have fun.
Have fun. It is important to have fun on patrol. It's important to come down and enjoy yourself. If you don't enjoy patrolling, you won't come back. And it's important to us that you enjoy patrolling. Zoe Cole, what's important on patrol?
Doing what you're told.
Listening to instructions from the patrol captain and the senior members of the patrol, very important. They have your best interest at heart. Aurora, what's important on patrol?
Being aware of the situation.
Being situationally aware, very good. Sophie, what's important on patrol? Can you hear me, Sophie? Yep.
For keeping an eye out with people not in the flags or in a danger zone.
Yes, making sure people are swimming in the right place. Okay. Alice, what's important on patrol?
Making responsible choices.
Making responsible choices. Excellent. Adelaide, what's important on patrol?
To not ignore other members.
Yeah, not ignoring. So being sociable to other members and treating other members with respect. Zoe, what's important on patrol?
Keeping off your phone and like paying attention.
Yes, keeping off your phone. So checking your messages is okay every now and again, but playing Candy Crush, probably not okay. Okay. Jaden, what's important on patrol, mate?
Be respectful to the public.
Yep, being respectful of the public. That's very important, okay? Because sometimes you'll get people come down and they don't want to listen to you, okay? They don't want to swim in the right place and you're here to guide them. You're not here to tell them what to do. You're not here to be their mum or their dad or their headmaster or the police. You're here to provide good advice to them, okay? I think hang on, Isla. What's important on patrol?
You've already done me.
Okay, you jumped around the screen. Okay, William, what's important on patrol, mate? Okay, William, I can't see your video, mate, and you're on mute. Okay, I'm going to throw it back to Gerard.
We can't hear you.
Gerard, you're on mute.
Yep. Thanks. Hang on. Thanks for telling me that, by the way. So are we on now? Righto. Will I sack the producer? No, we can't afford to. We need him. So we coming through good, loud and clear now? Righto. Okay. As I was saying, I'm very impressed with everyone's response because most of those are sort of you're pretty much cut to the chase, as we say, and you've got the most important things. So well done. The only thing I can think of is no one remembered sunscreen. Put on some sunscreen. I don't know if you do that these days, but it helps. Your skin apparently is more sensitive when you're young, and you'll pay for it later on in your life if you don't use a bit of that sort of protection. And that's what the uniforms are all about. They're very well designed to protect you from the sun. So that's why we talk about wearing uniforms and sunscreen. Okay. Now, we often find that perhaps some things aren't happening like we thought they would at the club. And we might have a disagreement with someone. We mightn't like things that are happening. It occasionally happens. Most of the time, I see a lot of young people here having a great time, and they're friendly, and it's a good atmosphere. But sometimes if you think something isn't quite what you thought it should be, or if you think that you're being a bit hard done by, the important thing that covers so much of this is to speak up. So if you think that something that is happening at the club, and if you see someone else, you think that they're getting a bit of rough treatment, you are always welcome to speak up. Now, who do you speak up to? So if you're on patrol, who's the person up the ladder? I think we all know this one. It's the patrol captain. There's also other senior members on your patrol in most cases, so you can always speak to them. And they in turn have people they can talk to and talk with. And whatever happens at the club, we can talk about things and we can clear them up and sort them out. You don't have to let things really upset you here. Like I say, don't make waves at a surf club. That's one of my little sayings. If there's something that you think's going wrong, if you feel a bit upset about something, just maybe find somebody who you're familiar with and you like, and you can tell them. That's fine to do that at Wanda Surf Club. And if it's something to do with something that happened on patrol, you can always tell your patrol captain, and we can clear things up. So it's very important that you learn to speak up. Here's Denny.
So there's actually a chain of people that you can speak to within the club if you're having issues that you want to try and get sorted out, or there's something you need to talk to somebody that you need to talk to. So you can talk to your patrol captain, you can talk to the patrol vice captain. The club also has a member services officer, and we have a member protection officer. And those roles are also duplicated at both the branch, the state, and the Australian Surf Life Saving level. So if you have a problem that you don't feel like you can talk to somebody within the club, you can speak to somebody at the branch. If it's something within the branch, you can speak to somebody at state, and you can speak to somebody at the Australian Surf Life Saving Australian level. So never feel that you have to keep something bottled up or anything. If you have an issue and that you need to speak to somebody, there are plenty of people that you can speak to.
Thank you, Denny. Just checking, they can hear me now. We good with that? Rightio, thank you. Okay, so I think we can move on now, and that's what keeps this place running quite happily. We've covered that, it's just telling us a little bit about what we're about to learn today. Some hazards. We might just cover this. Great answers for how we should behave on patrol. Let's now think we are on patrol and think about the whole environment, as we call it. So think you're at the beach, and we want you now to think of some hazards at the beach. So I'm going to throw once again to Denny and just rattle through maybe about half a dozen or so.
Hazards at the beach.
Okay, Dane's got his hand up. Dane, are you a hazard at the beach?
Yes, he is.
And your brother is saying, yes, you are. So Dane, what's a hazard at the beach that we need to be aware of?
A rip.
A rip? Absolutely. Okay, Otis, what's a hazard at the beach that we need to be aware of?
The sun. So we need to
The sun? Yep, that's something that needs to be managed with sunscreen. Zara, what's a hazard at the beach that we need to be aware of?
Messy waves.
Messy waves, so dangerous surf conditions. Excellent. Imogen, what's a hazard at the beach that we need to be aware of?
I was gonna like the surf.
Yep, surf conditions. Okay. I'm going to throw this one to Kayleen because Kayleen's feeding answers to Miller at the moment. Miller, what's a hazard at the beach?
I'm not feeding answers, but I did say broken glass.
Dangerous
Broken glass.
objects.
Dangerous objects.
Dangerous objects. Excellent answer. Ellie, can you give me a hazard at the beach?
Surfers and swimmers mixing.
Yes, excellent. So fiberglass boards in the surf zone. Okay. I'm going to give you my favourite one at the beach that the girls, you guys don't do this. This is a boy thing all the time. And I'm looking at Ben Sutton because I reckon when Ben was young, he was probably doing this. Digging deep holes in the sand, right? That is such a boy thing to do at the beach. They're tripping hazards. They're terrible. Okay, back to you, Gerard.
Thank you, Denny. Yes, those big holes, I'm sure a few people have disappeared down them. So be careful. If you do dig one, fill it in as soon as you're finished. Don't leave it there, okay? Now, I'm going to ask you another question, which adds another level of thinking to what we're doing here. We've just identified a whole stack of hazards at the beach. The next most obvious question is, what ones can we do something about and what ones can we not do anything about? So get your answers ready, and Denny, could you keep going along the list? Think of the hazard that we have identified and think, is there anything you can do about it, or is there nothing you can do about it?
Okay, so everybody's squares moved around on Zoom. So I was starting at the top, moving down. So if I hit you again for an answer, I apologise. Okay, I'm going to start with Leah. Leah, what's a hazard at the beach that you can do something about or can't do something about? What can you do something about?
Well, maybe sea creatures. You can, like with a shark, you have a shark alarm which can like alert the swimmers.
Excellent. That's a good one. Okay. Eliza, what's a hazard that you can do something about at the beach?
When it's really sunny, you can wear sunscreen so you don't get burnt.
Yep. Slip, slop, slap. Good answer. Kyle, what's a hazard that you can change at the beach?
Surfers mixing with swimmers.
Excellent. Good answer. How might you do that?
Just make people move.
Yep. Make an announcement over the PA. Let them know that they're not where they're supposed to be. Okay. Last one for things that can. Joey Doran, what's something that's a hazard at the beach that you can do something about?
Fill in your holes when you dig them.
Filling in the holes that you dug when you dig them. Good answer. Okay, now we're going to move on to the hazards that you can't do anything about. Okay, Zoe Cole, what's a hazard that you can't do anything about?
Sharp objects in the sand.
Sharp objects in the sand. Well, I think there might be something you could do about that. Okay. Aurora, what's a hazard at the beach that you can't do anything about?
Surf conditions.
Surf conditions, good one. Okay, yeah. Anybody who's watching Gerard on his screen, you've got the next one. Sophie, what's a hazard that you can't do anything about at the beach?
How many people are there on like?
How many people are there? That's a good answer. That's something that I wouldn't have thought of. Okay, Alice, what's a hazard at the beach that you can't contain or control?
Rips, like
A rip.
you can put up signs to tell people not to swim there, but you can't like stop them.
Exactly. Okay, back to you, Gerard.
Well, once again, I'm impressed. I think we've got a good crop of lifesavers coming through. And the reason why we've just done this exercise is because there is this word in this slide, mitigate risks. So to summarize what we've just done, there are some things that happen here that are risks or hazards. They are hazards and therefore it creates a risk. But sometimes we can't do anything about it, like a rip. We can't do anything about a rip. It's just going to be there. But there are some things like perhaps a bit of broken glass, Hopefully we haven't stepped on it yet. We've just spotted it. And if we do see that, we take it and we put it in a bin or something sharp in the sand. So mitigate simply means of the hazards that we identify, we do something about the ones that we can. And if we can't do anything about it, it doesn't mean we don't do anything. It means we monitor them. So we can't do anything about there being a rip in a certain place at the beach, but we watch that rip and we see if anyone goes swimming in it. So that's a very important word if you're a lifesaver, called mitigating risk. So doing things about the hazards that we can do something about, but monitoring the ones that we can't do anything about. So if something does go wrong, we're ready to offer our service as lifesavers. Well done. I'm really impressed. I think we've covered those, and I think, not that I'm trying to, yeah, okay. So the next one will be radio. I think we'll move on to radio. We've got here your personal protective equipment. We've got this guy using a mouth mask when he's doing a resus here. This guy's in the IRB, so he's got to wear a life jacket, PFD. And this guy, to help him do his job, he's got his fins and a rescue tube. He's got a big sort of rashy there. By the way, where they have lots of stingers in the water up in Queensland, they have full body suits to protect them from the stingers. So the gear up there around the Barrier Reef is a little bit different than up near Queensland. So remember I said the club is here to protect you while you provide the service of protecting the public. Righto, Denny. Radios. I like radios. This is one of those topics somebody was saying, what's in the new manual for SRCs? Radios. So this only got brought in last season, and we're now letting you use the radio. Now, we can't give you radios to use, so I'm just going to show you a little trick. While we do our practice, here's your radio. To press the button to talk, you curl up your hand and move it close to your mouth, and to release the button, you just move your hand like that, and there's the antenna. So could you just press to talk on your radio? Are they all doing that, Denny? Press to talk on the radio.
Yeah, good work, everyone.
Okay, so that's your radio for these exercises we're about to do. Okay, just flick through to the next one. I'll just see what we've got there. Okay, flick through. This is a tough game. I'm going to find another way of explaining things. Now, on the radio, you'll find that we're in what's called a network. So when you use the radio, remember those 4 clubs in Bait Bay? When you use the radio, they're all going to hear you. So what we say, because it's almost like we've got big speakers and we're broadcasting something all over Bait Bay. Now we've got the radio. So when you use the radio, you've got to be very careful what you say. We don't use people's names generally. We identify people by what's called a call sign. Now here is an overhead shot of a patrol. And I'm sure most of you will understand this sort of picture. It's a bit like we've got the drone out and it's just flying above us. And we've marked, in this case, they've actually marked the field of vision that a lot of these assets have. But I'm going to identify the 4 main call signs that you will use with the radio as SRCs. Now, the first one here at the patrol tent is your patrol captain. And his call sign is simply Wanda Patrol. Okay, we probably know the boat, which we call an IRB. And their call sign is simply Wanda IRB. We keep it simple. So we've got Wanda Patrol at the tent, which is usually your captain. Wanda IRB, that's the guy driving the boat. There's 2 more. What's this one? Now, some of you will know that that's a little image of the ATV, you know, the buggy, or SSV as they call it. We're not allowed to use that for roving patrols, so that's going to be someone on foot doing a roving patrol. So this one is Wanda roving south. And if he was, or she was up here, it'll be Wanda roving north. So when you get onto patrol, the captain may say, Could you go for a roving patrol along the beach north? So your call sign is Wanda Roving North. And finally, you may speak to Wanda Tower. And they're the 4 main call signs you have to know as an SRC. There's a lot more language that you can put when you speak on the radio. We tend to use these pro words. Now, they're things like affirmative, negative, you know, funny little things. We use them because they sum up a lot in just one word. So if you're not hearing somebody clearly, you say again. You don't say repeat if you want somebody to say something again, because that means something else. So these are all pro words. Don't worry too much about them. We just want to get you started talking on the radio. Okay. So I'll go through them and then we'll get you to go through them. This one's Wanda Patrol. That's the captain of the tent. Wanda IRB. Wanda Roving South or Wanda Roving North would be up here. And Wanda Tower. Now, Denny, I'm going to point to some of these. And is it possible for you to ask someone to tell me the call sign?
Right, yeah.
It is. Okay,
Right,
so.
You pick someone. There.
Okay, let's go with Sophie. What's Gerard pointing at now?
Can't see it. The air sign.
It's Wanda, and what is it? What object is it?
A helicopter.
Well, that means I drive the helicopter.
Not yet. It's the Wanda IRB. Okay, let's point to something else. Adelaide, what is Gerard pointing to now? Adelaide?
Wanda Tower.
Excellent, good work. Okay, what's next? Isla, can you give me what Gerard's pointing to now? What's the call sign?
Wanda Roving North.
Ooh, very close.
Is it Wanda Roving South then?
Excellent, good work. Okay, and last one. Okay, we've got another one. Kyle, what's Gerard pointing to now?
Wanda Roving North.
Excellent. Okay, and then for the last one, we'll go with Zara Buckley.
Wanda Tent.
Close. Wanda starts with a P. Wanda Patrol. Excellent. It might also be worth asking that there's another common call sign that you will hear. SurfCom. SurfCom is the operations centre in which we communicate back to when we need assistance. But for you guys at the moment, for SRCs, let's just focus on these 4 call signs. Okay, thanks guys.
Right. So we know 4 call signs of the patrol captain, who is Wanda Patrol. The boat is Wanda IRB. Roving patrols, Wanda Roving North or Wanda Roving South. And yes, we do sometimes put someone in the tower, and you may find yourself up there with a pair of binoculars, and your call sign will be Wanda Tower. Now, here's an exercise, and it's going to be a little tough for some of you because I've only just taught you the call signs, but you're going to contact one of the other assets. So I'm going to point to 2 things. Here, I'll give you an example. I'm going to point to the tent first where you are Wanda Patrol, and that's you. And you want to contact Wanda IRB. Now, here's what you'll do. You always say them first, and you say it twice. So if I'm in the tent and I want to contact Wanda IRB, I'll get my radio and I'll go, Wanda IRB, this is Wanda Patrol, over. And that's how I contact Wanda IRB if I'm in the patrol tent. I'll give you another example. If I want to contact Wanda Roving South and I'm in the patrol tent, I will do this. Wanda Roving South, this is Wanda Patrol, over. Release the button. Will I do another example, Denny? Right, I'll do another example. I'm going to flip it around this time, but just say I was in the boat, the IRB, and I wanted to contact the patrol captain. I would say them first twice and myself next. So if I was in the boat and I wanted to speak to the patrol captain, I would say, Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda IRB, over. It is a tough little test. Do you think they're up for it, Ben? Righto, Ben reckons they're up for it, so we're going to pick some people. So have a close look. I'm going to point to two things, and you are the first one, and you want to contact the second one. So here we go. Who do you think's in red hot form there, Denny? Pick them first, maybe.
Okay. Otis, can you see the screen?
Yeah, so
Okay.
This is me.
Yep.
And this is who I want to contact. What's your message, Otis?
Wanda roving south, this is Wanda Patrol, over.
Oh, excellent work, mate. Excellent. Okay, let's move to the next one. Let's go with Ellie.
Wanda RIB, Wanda IRB, this is Wanda Patrol, over.
Perfect. You guys are nailing this. Let's do one more.
Righto. So once again. Jaden, this is you, and that's who you want to speak to. That's you. That's who you're talking to. You want to contact them.
Wanda Tower, this is Wanda 10, over.
Close. Not Wanda Tent, Wanda Patrol.
Wanda Patrol.
Good work, mate. Good work.
That's very good. I'm impressed with that. So we're on the way to starting to use the radios. You'll use channel 2, by the way. There are other channels. You typically will just speak on channel 2. And most of the time, you'll be talking to your patrol captain. So that's basically how it works. But remember what I said, you will be hearing what's happening all across Bait Bay. So you're going to hear Allura's messages that their patrol is making to their assets or to their members. You're going to hear North Cronulla's messages. You're going to hear Cronulla's. Sometimes we pick up the national park clubs and we hear Gary. Sometimes you'll hear of the whole rescue going on down at the cliff at Gary. And sometimes you even get a little bit of a signal from the eastern suburbs beaches, which is, you know, Bondi, Coogee, Clovelly, those ones. So that's why you've got to be careful what you say on the radios. And to try and keep the messages very clear, we use some of those big pro words, and we also have call signs, and they're the main ones that we'll use. I think they've done pretty well then, Denny. Click on to another one.
Good work, everyone.
Yeah, we've already mentioned that. Activity part 2. Ooh, this could get harder, Denny. I might have to bring in the board. How are we going for time? Will we be all right to keep going?
Yeah, I think we're okay to keep going. So we're getting close to 7 p.m. now, but I think if we go through the 4 Ps, and then maybe we'll give the breakout rooms a go so people can practice them, and then we'll wrap up.
Sure. Okay, you can see the 4 Ps there on the screen. 4 Ps, position, problem, people, and progress. Remember I said you will do some roving patrols. So here, Ben, if you could get a bit of a fix on this screen now. And I've drawn, once again, an overhead view. That's my wonderful set of flags. Here's the patrol tent. Maybe we'll put in an IRB where that one was before. Does that look like an IRB? I hope so. Excuse me, Ben. I'll just get the yellow pen. And, now it looks like an IRB. What were the other ones? Geez, I can't remember. What was the other one? Was there one here? Can someone help me? Wanda.
Can anybody answer? What's up behind the patrol tent?
Wanda Tower.
Anyone jump in?
That was it, Wanda Tower. A couple of them got it.
Excellent.
And I'm going to send you on a roving patrol. Does that look like a person? Little blockhead. In fact, we usually send you in pairs, so I'll send both of you. on a roving patrol. There you are. One's a square, one's a triangle head. And you have come, let's say, I'll do this in black. You have come about 100 meters north. So north is this way. And what you see while you're on your roving patrol, and they are 150 meters from the shore, is this poor little sausage who's a bit distressed. That's our distressed swimmer. And you've got to send a message back to your patrol captain using the 4 Ps. So let's have a look at our distressed swimmer. Here you are, 100 meters north, in line with them. So the distressed swimmer is about 100 meters north of the flags. How far from the shore are they? 150 meters. We've covered their position. What's the problem? Well, in our message, we'll have to tell the captain there is a distressed swimmer. Somebody, if you can see a picture of a girl there in the slide, she's got a hand up, she's asking for help. How many people? So if you can see the slide, it's just one girl. And the progress, let's have a look. This guy's grabbed a board and he's going to perform the rescue. Now on your roving patrol, you won't be carrying a board with you, but you will be carrying a tube. Your progress may be one of you has begun the rescue. Well, we've learned a lot tonight, Denny. And now we're going to give you probably the toughest question of them all. We're going to ask you to give a message back to the patrol captain stating your position, your problem, the people involved, and your progress. So will we use this scenario, Denny? Okay.
I think we're good to go.
Righto, so over to you, Denny.
Okay, so if we're going to use the 4 Ps for this, our position, the first thing we want to say is we are 100 meters north of the flags. Our problem is that there is a swimmer who is in distress 150 meters from shore. It is a single person, that is the people. And the progress is that we're sending one person out on a rescue board to go and get them. So they're our 4 Ps. Our position. So the way I would say this on the radio is Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda roving north, over. The patrol captain will come back to you and say,
Wanda roving north, this is Wanda Patrol, go ahead.
Wanda Patrol, I am 100 meters north. I don't know why you're looking at me, Ben. I'm 100 meters north of the flag. The problem is that there is a person in distress 150 meters from shore. It's one person, they're female, they look to be young. And the progress is we are sending somebody out to get them on a rescue board. Over.
Right, so maybe you can pick someone, Denny, and remember, your call sign will be Wanda roving north, but you are after Wanda Patrol. So I'll just give you a little heads up about the first thing you're going to say. The first thing you'll say if Denny picks you to do this report is you will say, Wanda Patrol, this is Wanda roving north, over. And then the captain will come back, Wanda roving north, this is Wanda Patrol, go ahead. And then you'll deliver the 4 Ps. So Denny, you pick someone and let's hear their transmission. And Denny or myself will play the captain role.
Actually, I'm going to ask for a volunteer. If you feel confident in giving this a try, put your hand up. Imogen's hand flashed close to the screen, so I think she was shooing something away. So I'm going to pick you, Imi. So you come off mute. You're going to be Wanda roving north, and I'm going to be the patrol captain, okay? So bring your hand up to your face, and you're going to start with, come off mute.
Wanda Patrol, Wanda Patrol. This is Wanda roaming north.
Wanda roving north. This is Wanda Patrol. Go ahead.
I am 100 meters from the flags.
North of the flags?
North of the flags. There's a swimmer 150 meters out from shore. There's one person and we are sending someone out on the tube.
Wanda roving, message understood. We will send assistance. Over. Imogen, that was excellent. That was really, really good. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try something that we haven't tried before. We're going to break you up into breakout rooms. It's an automatic process and you will be joined up with somebody and you will practice this. And we want you to practice it each way. So if, for instance, Miller gets joined up with Ellie, Miller will start being Wanda roving and Ellie, you'll pretend to be Wanda Patrol and then you'll swap over. We're going to give you about 5 minutes to try this. Now, I'll say up front, this could be an unmitigated disaster and not work at all. But I want to give it a go. So we'll give you 5 minutes. I can chime into the rooms just to make sure you're doing okay. But are we all ready? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, you'll need to come off mute. And let's see how
Hey.
It won't let.
Very cold. I don't want to get out here.
Wow. Okay. Wanda IRB, was it?
Yeah, Wanda IRB.
Okay. One.
Eliza and Aurora, how are you guys going in here?
We both had a go and we both did it.
Okay, excellent. Okay. I'm gonna hop out and I'm gonna join another one. Good work, guys.
And keep us updated of your progress. From the control over. And that's pretty good, right? Okay. That on, mate. Because I like doing that. Okay. And here's somebody writing case down.
Okay, I don't know what's happened here.
Right, Adelaide. There's you. I'll give you a round at this time. You see what's going on there? Right, Adelaide. Once again, you're Wanda roving south. I'm the captain giving you your report. Yes, Wanda roving south. This is Wanda control. Thank you, Wanda roving south. This is Wanda patrol. Is the person conscious or unconscious? Over. Thank you, Wanda roving south. We will send extra assistance and spinal board this one. Please keep us updated of your progress. Wanda patrol over and out. Well, that was very good. Should we start adding more people in? Sorry, Adelaide. She's been it enough. Okay. Do you think of anything that you put in? Yeah. Oh. Wow. Hey, Benjamin has just come up. He's captain material this Ben. Hey Adelaide, can you see how the IRB's just out here? Okay, you're going to use a bit of your thinking power because the IRB is fairly close. Could you make a report to them now? Right.
Can you repeat that, please?
Wanda roving south, this is Wanda IRB. Go ahead.
Okay, we're just finishing up the meeting rooms.
Oh, so well, I'm sure she was spot on.
I think everyone's back.
I think we're all back now. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Yeah, that's working. Okay, everyone. Hopefully. Oh, somebody's trying to. Okay, can everybody hear me? Just put your hand up if you can. That's okay. So that's it for tonight. Hopefully the breakout rooms worked okay. I'm not sure that they did or didn't. If you think the breakout rooms worked well, can you put your hand up for me? Okay, that's good positive feedback. Excellent. So it's the end of the session. I will send out an email with the next lot of work that needs to be completed for the next session. If you have any questions, I'll stay on this call for a couple of minutes. But if not, just complete your work this week. Make sure you get all your forms in, and we'll see you next week. Nat Buckley, I don't know if she sent out the buddies yet, but we'll make sure that that happens this week. There's a few people who haven't finished their proficiency swims either, but most people have done it. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Just wait, don't go yet.